On today's episode of This Old Saw, gets worse. So, got that, and so we know we need a tank. I'm going to replace the handle as well. That's not long for this world. Something a little safer for a clutch cover. And I did happen to find this handy tidbit right here. I wish, well, I do believe that there was a filter on here. Oh wait, that's not the right one. Sorry, different project. I don't know why I had this. Oh, that's why. Because this one's busted. So this one was used without a that little felt washer was gone, and it sucked in all that, or it was run without a filter completely. I can't remember, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. Yeah, we're gonna fix this turd today. Well, I knew there'd probably be another surprise or two in here, but you know, I went to go take the side cover off, and we'll have to, looks like the threads are good on it. It's just going to need to be sealed back in there. Oh yeah, fix chainsaws for a living. They said it'd be fun. I got to remove this little bracket right in here, and I might have a little bit of difficulty given that it's broken, but oh my goodness, that's not too bad. Yeah, sorry, I got a little carried away. After I got everything degreased and this back on, I did have to grab a spare AV spring. So it's not just a spring. Where's that at? It's around here somewhere. Where'd you go? Anyway, okay, you can see it in there. There's a wire, and there's a detent on the end that goes into that housing, and there's a detent that goes into the tank that was snapped. So yeah, fortunately I had a spare on hand, and everything else looks good. I've got the bar stud back in with some anaerobic sealer, and that should hold on to it nice and tight. Makes for good Loctite. I actually use some 620, which is like a bearing sleeve sealer. It's super tough once it sets. So we're just about there, but before we put the finishing touches on this thing, let me talk to you about chainsaws. If you haven't seen my last video and steel pricing, needs to be said again. If you watched the last video, I already touched on this, but steel's got pricing increases coming in November. If you are considering buying a new piece of steel equipment, I would strongly advise you to go get it sooner than later. That's all I can say. This is going to be a cost of living increase for steel, and they're going to put a tariff price increase. Whether they eat some of the tariffs or not, we don't know. But I'll do an entire dedicated video just to that when the price changes come out. And you know, if a new weed eater, this will be across the board, and I'm sure there'll be price increases on parts as well. Now, with this being said, steel has moved a lot of their stuff here to the States. You know, Virginia Beach puts out a tremendous amount of like all the stick equipment, pole saws, weed eaters, you know, homeowner line, pro line of the stick stuff. Blowers, a lot of blowers are made there. I think some of the I can't speak to it, but I know a lot, even like the BR600s and 700s. I don't know if all the 800s are just made in Germany. They're usually really picky about like their top of the line. Like you will never ever see an 066, 660, or a 661 that has not been made in Germany. And the way you can tell that is if you look right here on the top of the cover where the muffler is, that serial number will have 9 digits. The first number is country of manufacture. No big surprise. Number 1 is Germany. The US stuff is like 2 and 5. I don't know why we got 2 numbers, but I think that's what it is. I'll have to go. It's an easy Google. You can find it really quick. But they're tippy top of the line. They really like to keep at home in Germany. But that doesn't mean everything else isn't going to get affected just because it's made here in the States. This is going to help blanket the entire product line. You can complain, but you know, Echo, that used to be a long time value option, they're following right along, and this is how this always goes. Whoever the leader in the industry is, when they go up, whoever's running behind the big dog is going to take an increase as well. So it's done this for the last couple of years, and we've lost, you know, a lot of value in the Echo line. Husqvarna bid a little bit cheaper than steel, and still is to some degree. And again, I'll do an entire video just based on what everything costs. All right, enough gabbing about that. You know, I'm passionate about it. That's good for business. Let me finish buttoning this thing up, and then we'll just wrap it up, call it done. I don't remember if I mentioned it, but that saw was wearing a 36-inch bar, and the oiler hadn't had the pin punched in. I've yet to see one come from the dealership with the pin punched in. So anyway, I dressed the ever-living crap out of the rails, and I mean, I got, you know, it's pretty rough. Okay, that's all set. There was only an inside pro safety dog. I had a brand new set of pro safeties to put back on there for him. Chain's dull, but it's slinging oil like it's supposed to. You can actually see a nice fine mist kicking off the end of the bar when you rev it. That's about it for today. Ba-deep, ba-deep, ba-deep. That's all, folks.